pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
He's listening to us say the pledge of allegiance.
He's on his way.
He's in the parking.
Mrs. Passio?
Here.
Mr. Ranieri?
Here.
Mrs. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Farrell?
Here.
Mrs. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Root?
Here.
Mr. Wood?
Here.
Mr. Bayshore?
Here.
Mr. Wright is alone.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. 1. Posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 6, 2015. 2. Emailed to the retrospect on January 6, 2015. Approval of minutes. A motion? Okay. Seconded?
Yeah.
Because we started on time.
How you doing, Mayor?
How are you? Welcome aboard.
Need a second?
Second.
Where I
Second
stand.
motion.
Somebody want a second? Me?
I'll second you.
Motion made by Beverly and Bob. Reports?
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports?
Okay, reports. We have the report of the construction official for the month of,
You want to make a note that I'm here? The mayor is 2 minutes late. I apologize.
Hi, Mac.
Hello. First
7
time.
and 2 arrival. Oh, and Rich is
It's only been 75 meetings. I'd rather be 2 minutes late for my first meeting.
We got to hear
that. You get demerit for that.
That goes with your permanent record.
The report of the construction official for the month of November, a total of $8,540 was collected for various permits, including COs. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the police department for the month of November. A total of $108.29 was collected for accident discovery, solicitor reports, and firearm permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the municipal court for the month of October. A total of $7,318.23 was collected in fines, and all monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the borough clerk for the month of November. A total of $351.20 was collected for permits and dog licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the registrar of vital statistics for the month of November. A total of $3,616 was collected in death copies, marriage copies, and marriage licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the tax collector for the month of November. A total of $3,060,729.82 was collected in taxes, and in sewer rentals, $18,436.73. And I will report that as of today, we hit 97% in collection.
Nice.
We have another month. I sent out my notices, delinquent notices, together with the letter explaining why it's so important for everyone to be current. Hopefully that will instill in people to pay up. So maybe we will get closer than we did last time.
Which was?
What was it last year? 97.37, something like that? I forget.
Used the 3-year average, and we budgeted 97, so.
Correct. So this year, it's over 80 after 97.
Good, that's great. Okay, is there a motion to approve the reports as stated?
Can I make a motion?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Moore, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Communications.
You have a note from Kelly family thanking everyone for the flowers that the borough sent for upon John's death.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Passio, second by Ms. Moore to receive and receive the file with condolences. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion ends. Public hearings. Ordinance 1521, an ordinance banning the sale of dogs and cats from pet shops. Let's see. This part of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Public portion is closed. Is there a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law?
Motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
6 ayes.
Okay. This ordinance is adopted. Ordinance 1522 is an ordinance amending Chapter 106 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 7, Schedule Section 106-20, Schedule 6, Stop Intersection. This is the stop sign at Phillips and South Phillips. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this ordinance, please come to the microphone.
I was all ready for it the other day. I was coming down.
You
there
ready?
The first time I was like, oh, we just stopped. Oh,
Did you
no, it's
stop?
not there yet.
Is there a motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close public portion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Moore, second by Mr. Root. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public portion is closed. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
6 ayes.
Okay, so now we get a stop sign. Okay, committee reports. Finance, Mr. Ranieri.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We've finally done it. Rich and I went to Marlton to the Acacia Financial Group about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we were able to observe and be part of our long-term debt sale. And due to our favorable A1 rating, we made out much better than we expected to. We were expecting an interest rate of approximately 3.4%, and we actually ended up with the winning bid coming in at 2.8% over 30 years. That's a fantastic rate, and this lower rate ends up saving the town approximately $250,000 over the life of the loan, which is 30 years. Congratulations, everybody. Keep up the good work. Special thanks to Mark and his organization for the reconstruction of South Oakland. I get to ride home on that every day, and it's nice and smooth. Very good job, thank you. And aside from that, progress.
Okay, thank you. Public safety, Ms. Cuff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The police report for the month of November, 139 traffic summonses, they were the moving events, and arrests for the month were 177. Our arrests year to date is 1,866. That's higher than it's been in a number of years because usually it's around 1,600 a year. So this just goes to show that our men are out there, they're protecting, they're serving, and they're very proactive. We had 5 burglary events, 8 events of theft, 8 narcotic drug law events, 58 disorderly conduct, and 43 warrants were issued. That's it.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much. Public events, Ms. Patsy.
Okay, Sunday was our Christmas tree lighting and our fire truck parade, and it was happened to be our 20th year that we've been doing this. It started out with the Bonsell Blues Band, and then the Runnymede Elementary Chorus came in. And I just want to thank a few people, because without them, we couldn't have this. It was just a really great event. A lot of residents came, and I hope everybody was happy. I just want to have a special thank you, which goes out to the Runnymede Belmar Glendora Rotary Club, Runnymede Municipal Alliance, our Triton Elves, Runnymede Women's Club, Clean Communities, Deluxe Bakery, Runnymede Elementary School, our fine police department, and our fire and our EMTs, all my volunteers, all the volunteers for us, and for making this day a perfect celebration, bringing in the perfect holiday. I thank everyone. Oh, and Belmar for the stage. How could I forget that? Absolutely. Belmar brought in their stage, and that's was the stage where the Bonsell Blues Band and the Army Corps performed. So thank you, Belmar. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, engineering. Mr. Pepper.
Thank you. Still waiting on the buildings next door. Talked to Mark about it. He'll give a little more insight on that. Oakland and Seagley Avenue, I'm glad to say it's done. They look great. Good job. Waiting for see how much money we'll get next year to see what streets we can do and what we can afford to do. We have a couple of streets in mind. We're still waiting to hear about the turning lights on Clemens Road and Eastham Road. And Clemens Road from here down in Barrington, I guess that'll be starting somewhere in the spring.
They actually had bids today. They were rejected because they were too high. So I'm not sure what the county is planning to do. But I would imagine it's going to be re-advertised in the early spring and hopefully better bids.
Do you have any idea what the amounts that were? Yeah. Did you see it?
The county engineer would not divulge that information to me. I was able to find out what the Borough portion would be for the sidewalks if it were to get awarded based on the bids today. And I think it was $47,688.
Then we should not sign that agreement. It's lower than what they told us. They said 49.
Yeah.
Let's see, $2,000.
What would cause that? I thought it was a done deal.
It was an estimate the cost, right? It was an engineer's estimate.
Right. It was out to the public bid, and the contractors apparently are, if they're busy, they put in a high number. And that's why at this time of year, it's hard to get good numbers. But I'm not sure what the county engineer plans to do, but if it was us, we'd be putting out the bid in the late winter so that they could get started. Contractors could line their work up for the early spring and get contractors when they're hungry.
Well, he led me, Bev, to believe that they were going to start the storm drain and all that before Christmas or early January. No, June they were going to pave when the schools were let out. But they said if the weather held out, they'd be doing all the, underneath stuff they need to do. So obviously.
Everything's changed?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I guess they entirely pending contracts.
And just one question. Washington Avenue,
Yes.
that one strip that we didn't have enough money to do, do you think we'll ever get that?
Yeah, we have that in
That's
there.
our DOT application.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that and Oakland Avenue.
The finishing
both
road.
at the same time.
Oh, that was good.
With the supplemental, or was that with next year's application?
That's
It's next year's application.
Good, good. I'm happy to hear that because it's really a shame.
Yeah, especially Washington Avenue, that's
Yeah.
pretty hard. And all the rest progress, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Just a note, because I've forgotten myself, the shared service agreement with the county for the sidewalks. Did I sign that? Did we all agree to that yet? It is on for tonight.
And
Okay,
they
so,
have been bugging me to get the sidewalk.
Really?
In fact, she called, Sam Martell's assistant called me today, and I said, well, it's on the agenda tonight. Now, what do you want to do?
well, I think we should put it on the vote, because I think it's not, in our opinion, it's not to exceed 49,000. So if it does come in at 47.8, maybe we can hold them. We only pay 47.8. But I think you guys got a better clarification that it was 1,000 feet of sidewalk. It was retaining walls.
455 feet of retaining wall.
Absolutely.
So that left side,
Retaining walls to a certain point, and then there were also, they were gonna put down that fabric that will keep land from moving, like that stuff they can put on a slate hill, because as you go up the hill, past Hill Avenue.
You don't need a
there's-
retaining
They don't
wall.
need a retaining wall, so they felt that that fabric would do the job to try to keep things in place. I think there's like a split rail fence there now, they're gonna fix that. But yeah, anything else that it was already, because there is a retaining wall on somebody's property already, and then they were gonna do it from that point. That was,
I have a set of
oh, the drawings.
drawings from the county engineer today.
That's
oh,
great.
good. Did you give the set we had? And-
I have.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay,
they
so
were
we can leave
supposed
it-
to send a set too. Did
Well,
we
that
have
must
one?
be set.
I have a giant set of plans right at the base of, it's this giant roll.
Yeah, that would
Here's
be it.
my,
That would be it.
Okay. Well, I think we can do that this evening. I think that's great. Okay, then, Public Works, Ms. Moore.
Okay, well, since this is my last meeting, and after all this time, you would think that it wouldn't affect me to talk to everybody, but I'm going to kind of depart from what I normally do, which is kind of just off the cuff, and I have something that I wrote that I would like to kind of share with everybody. So as far as the department goes, I'm going to say we are having trouble with the leafers. We have 2 leafers down right now. One blew an engine, the other blew another part, so they both are being repaired. We started off strong, and it's not done well. So I know that they are actively trying to fix them. They are out with the smaller leafer, which is working like a champ. So they are out doing that, but the rain obviously has held things up. Yard waste has been an ongoing battle. I don't know if they're continuing to pick it up. There have been people putting stuff curbside. I've given them the push to do it. I've also got complaints from people that they're not doing it. And then at the point, the never-ending project, they have put in the start of the irrigation system and cut the line to the sign for Jeray's Jewelers. So it just keeps getting better. So they are working on repairing that. Everyone is aware. I spoke to the county today. I did talk to the project manager as well. They are aware of it. I did talk to, they did. And it was an accident. They realized that they thought they had nicked it, but they weren't 100% sure, and then clearly they have. So I spoke to Jeray's today, as well as everyone involved, and it's just an ongoing one more thing. So anyway, I just have this that I'd like to share with you all. So it says, back in 1940, a book was published posthumously by Thomas Wolfe titled You Can't Go Home Again. It was not a particularly happy story, though the title is often used to describe people having left the town that they grew up in and they departed for greener pastures, who return to their roots and find that things have changed and that people are different, that those things that brought the wandering resident back are no longer part of the community fabric. I grew up in Runnymede. I lived at the same house I currently occupy with my husband, though I left Runnymede years ago to return upon the passing of my parents. Unlike Thomas Wolfe, I found Runnymede to be quite similar to the town that I left. The people remain friendly, the community comes together to help those in need, and to welcome new and returning residents, and to put the value of community above that of any individual or entity. I am, and we are proud of where we are from. I am, and we are always aware of the wonderful life that we have here. I am, and we are Runnymede. I don't believe that you can't go home again. The years that my husband and I have spent in Runnymede have proven such. We have all felt the warmth, and the community spirit and the sense of belonging. This has been and is a great place to live. I first ran for office with a simple, singular focus to make Runnymede a better place to live and to visit. Having grown up in the 60s and the 70s here, I knew that Runnymede was a tight community with a long history of positive family values, caring for those that were not able to care for themselves, and setting an example for newcomers that we as a community would offer our positive values and recognition that Runnymede is a solid place to live, to raise children, and or retire. Clearly, one of the greatest rewards that has come as a result of our collective effort is the recognition that I have received from the residents. While there has been so much positive support, I am also aware that voters have expressed differences to what I've tried to do for Runnymede. I believe the respect of those in disagreement is also very positive, and I am pleased that people feel comfortable enough to engage with me in a conversation when our opinions diverge. My time serving the people of Runnymede has given me a fulfillment and a satisfaction, and the knowledge that the goals I set for myself and Runnymede have been achieved. We, my husband and I, are entering into another phase of our life together. I say with a very heavy heart that we are moving to another community as a result of an opportunity that has been bestowed upon us, where we will be fortunate enough to bring the warmth, friendliness, and the spirit of Runnymede with us. The memories of Runnymede, whether it is the people, the projects, the true sense of a small town, and all the benefits therein, will be with us as we seek to employ many of the good things that we have been a part of in Runnymede to another venue. While we certainly have some regret about the impending move, such are overshadowed by the knowledge that I have contributed to Runnymede being a better place than when we arrived. And for that, I am forever indebted to the residents and the voters for helping me to achieve that goal. So thank you all very much.
Well, at this time,
So that's it.
Ms. Moore, why don't we come out to the main stage? Come on. You are the photographer. You are efficient. And any other members want to come out? Come out now or come out later?
That's all right, just stay there.
Okay. This is my first time doing this.
Rich Hawkins.
Okay, Ms. Moore. From the Borough of Runnymede, Mayor and Council present to Beverly Moore, Councilwoman, on behalf of the residents of the Borough of Runnymede, we take this opportunity to thank you for the years of service and dedication that you've unselfishly given to our community. We truly appreciate the hard work and effort that you have made toward the betterment of the Borough of Runnymede. December 1st, 2015. Get your picture? I'm not leaving.
I don't tolerate.
It's the heels.
I'm more than one person. Thank you very much, thank you, thanks. Thanks, I appreciate it, thanks, Brad. Thanks.
Betterment. See, it's do your speech on the call. Say it.
Yep, see you. Oh, John. Here. Yeah, please, thanks.
Well, just, it's on my tickle list.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
It's on my tickle list.
I'll catch you on the way. It's very nice, it's nice, this is nice.
Lorraine
I
Hart.
did read it. He was reading. Who did it? Who did it? Yeah.
Help us out.
It does, it's really nice.
Nice job with that.
Very, very.
Okay.
That's what you
Yeah,
gotta
that's
do,
it.
man.
You're blind. Nobody watches anymore.
Yeah, that's it, you gotta go to get
Okay, moving on. Parks and Recreation. Mr. Root.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Park and Recreation are still working on getting prices for painting, gutters, flooring, heat, for the pole barn, Howard Williams buildings. Working on plans of basically setting up some teams that are interested in using the the pole barn for winter workouts. So we're going to set up criteria for that. Should have that all ready to go by the beginning of the year. And just getting ready for the winter and waiting on things to come in. Pretty much the rest of the project.
And where's the fountain?
It's in storage now, right?
Being rented out in Florida.
Still in my pool.
The fountain is in storage. Okay, thank you very much. Okay,
It's so dark down there.
it is
It's so
dark.
dark without.
We do miss it.
You miss
We
it?
really
Yeah,
do.
it's like so
Yeah,
dark.
we really
It is
miss
cold.
it. Those ducks said they missed it too.
Administrators report. Mr. Wright.
I go to rely on my report of caucus, but I do have an item for closed session
Okay.
regarding the public works position. And I would like to point out that I did do a drive around. Technically, and I know it's difficult, we are done yard waste, but with all the Halloween and Thanksgiving decorations and stalks and everything, we're gonna have to do a run, so I hope to have that done by the end of the week.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it is mostly.
All right, so we'll have a closed session after we pay the bills then. Okay, solicitors report.
I have nothing. I have one thing for closed session.
Okay,
Contract.
yeah.
3 minutes. Maybe 4.
Engineers report. I think so.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would also like to rely on my report from the caucus and what Mr. Farrell had to offer. The only thing that I have in addition to that is I did get a call from the contractor for the building demolition today. They're getting their bonds. As soon as they're in place, they're going to hand deliver the contracts to our office, and then I'll bring them over here for the mayor to sign, and then we'll be able to get the pre-construction meeting going for that project. And hopefully get that going soon. And in conclusion, I just want to congratulate Ms. Moore on her pending move, and it's been a pleasure to work with you over these past few years, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, old business, we have none. Public comment on agenda items. Every meeting, I ask anybody in the audience, this is the portion of the meeting is open. If you'd like to discuss any of the resolutions pending prior to us voting on them, this is your opportunity. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
I'm so moved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Moore, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, new business. Resolution 15160 is a resolution confirming 2015 appointments. This is for the police department's crossing guard, Cheryl Ann Ebling, at $10.50 per hour. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
A second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Ms. Passio. Any discussion?
Isn't she already out there? I think she's already out, isn't she?
I don't know.
Is she out?
He's being trained.
Steam train. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
Six ayes.
Okay, resolution is adopted. Resolution 15161 is a resolution authorizing shared service agreement by and between the Borough of Meeting and Camden County to assume maintenance responsibilities of the flashing pedestrian beacon on Evesham Road in front of St. Teresa's Church. Is there a motion?
I so moved.
Second that motion.
What did we decide with the curb?
We're supposed to be painting it.
We might just be.
And,
So motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
Six ayes.
Okay, resolution is adopted. Resolution 15162 is a resolution authorizing shared services agreement by and between the Borough of Runnymede and Camden County for road improvements, including construction of handicap ramps, driveway aprons, sidewalks between Second Avenue and Irish Hill Road along Clemens Bridge Road. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Mr. Ranieri.
Farrell and Ranieri.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
Six ayes.
Okay, resolution is adopted. Resolution 15163 is a resolution supporting use of a no passing zone on Clemens Bridge Road. We're aware of this. This is the DOT asking us to support no passing on Clemens Bridge Road.
Is it laid out, it's laid out that way already,
It's
right?
already existing.
Yeah.
It's already existing?
Existing.
It's just reminding us?
It's
I don't know, they're
We have to
asking,
do so.
why are they doing this, Mark? They're doing this with the bus stops, they're doing this.
not
with
Mark's
the-
fault, guys.
No, I have insight as to
It's
why.
just procedural, and
They want our
the
approval.
resolution's year to year, so I guess they.
If I abstain, can I pass on conversation? Yes. And you can get a ticket.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ranieri.
Other signs? Let's say you can't pass it. I'm just wondering, I mean, it's pretty much yellow, is it? Okay, yeah. All right.
A motion by Mr. Ranieri, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Moore. Roll call, please.
You don't need a
Oh,
roll.
it's just a resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Resolution 15164 is a resolution authorizing the transfer of a premium from the tax collector's redemption account to the general fund. This is an amount of $5,100.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
Six ayes.
Resolution is adopted. Now, where does that $5,100 go, Mr. Right? From the premium.
Myrna.
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 Miscellaneous revenue not anticipated.
Okay, so we have to wait a year?
So, no, at the end of the year, it goes into, it runs through operations and contributes to surplus.
Okay, contributes to surplus. Very good.
Layman's term, Park and Recreation.
Archer Rance?
We budget for it for subsequent years, so next year's not correct.
I said it first.
Yes, we said it first. Resolution 15165 is a resolution authorizing the Borough of Runnymede to enter into an interlocal service agreement with the County of Camden. We're very busy with Camden this month, for furnishing and delivery of sodium chloride. This is also a yearly resolution.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Ms. Moore. Any discussion? Roll call,
Can we
please.
get it from somebody else as well?
Mrs. Passio.
We can buy it online.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
And Mr. Renier.
Yes.
Six ayes. This apparently is not grinding.
No, this
It's
is.
not mine.
Rich
Oh.
explained that. I thought this was all the same as
No.
the Gloucester City.
It's
the
not
That's a
Gloucester-
separate.
Gloucester City is, that's what.
That's
Oh,
right.
We have another connection though for salt. besides that.
We have two brining,
Right.
No, not for the brine, for
Oh,
salt.
salt?
We get it from the county, but then don't we have an agreement with somebody else as well?
We were able to get some from county conservation last year, and we're also, for doing the county roads, we're supposed to be able to get actual salt from
Exactly.
the county, but they never
Exactly.
had.
this is the co-op purchasing.
Yeah, exactly, okay.
Okay, the resolution is adopted.
But with regards to the brine, they have to have it mixed, so that's why we have multiple sources, because of Gloucester City doesn't have any mixed.
We go to Gloucester Township.
And then you go to Gloucester Township.
Okay, resolution 15-166 is a resolution authorizing an agreement pursuant to the memorandum of understanding executing the Department of Public Works contract. Is that the contract? Yes.
Just authorize the signing of the contract.
This is the signing of the contract. Everyone should have received a copy.
Did, and you read it?
Were there any questions? No? Okay, please, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. You sign copies of the signature.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Root.
The only, what we did, Rich, and it made a whole lot of sense. Rich took the section, I think it's Article 33 or 38, I forget. I can look it up actually. But anyway, we changed the page so we actually spelled out year by year what each class gets. So nobody has to go back and try to figure the math out. We spelled it out. Now, the union hasn't seen that. It's not a problem. All we did was the math for it rather than having to go back and do it. But other than that, what you saw is exactly.
Is it a separate schedule or is it just embedded in?
It's an article.
What are you
Because we've done schedules
So
before.
here's-
Okay, so you just broke
So all I
that.
do, I broke it down. It just now says hourly wages under salaries. This is 23, I left that 33. So classification, so what they are, temporary labor, first class, second class, first class, and then.
Article 33.
Okay, so I've just spelled out 2%.
The years and what their hourly rate is, and now it's right here. Before, it just had this, I mean,
It would have said-
It had the formula, but
It
it
would have
didn't
said what
have
the
the
rate was
math.
before the contract, you would have to do the math for each position.
Yes.
Right? Each year, which
Yeah.
means not just 2%, but the 102% times 100.
Okay.
Yeah, so this just makes it easy.
That's a good way to do it.
Everybody who's forward to know what it is, but that's it. I just wanted you to know that was really, that's not a change, but a clarification.
All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Root, second by Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
I have it reversed.
It was- it
Mary Ann.
was-
Oh, sorry, I had 2 R's.
Okay. Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Root?
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 15-167 is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse as part of the municipal alliances for the prevention of alcoholism and drug abuse. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Root, second by Mr. Farrell. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly? Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, this resolution is adopted. Resolution 15-168 is a resolution endorsing existing bus stops in the Borough Meeting along Route 168. This was asked to us by the
This is the state.
transit.
And I don't think you need a roll call for this. I don't
Okay.
think they have it.
So, well, at least we'll do, is there a motion?
I wish they would give us some money for benches.
They're not going to do it anyway.
No.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri,
I'll second that motion.
second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 15-169 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of a check from the sewer account to a lien holder.
This was a lien that was redeemed and a subsequent sewer amount was paid almost at the same time. And so it got added to the lien after they already accepted a prior determination of what the lien should be. So we're just going to refund the money to them.
The $86.08.
Correct.
Okay. Motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Farrell. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Root? 6 ayes.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do the payment of bills, and then we'll go to good and welfare, but then we're going to go to a closed session. But let's get the payment of bills done first. Is there a motion to pay the monthly bill?
I make a motion.
Oh, I'll second it.
She wanted
I'll
to...
second.
All right, motion by Mr. Root, second by Ms. Moore. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Root?
Yes.
All right, the bills shall be paid. This is good and welfare. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Craig Robinstein, 40 Mitchell Avenue, Borough Meeting, New Jersey. Hi. The crossing at St. Teresa's the guards are out there and they don't activate the lights. That maybe we should put in their job description that they need to activate the lights when they walk through. I've seen people almost hit because people on their cell phones looking down. We need all the notification that we can to let people know that there are people crossing the street. People on their cell phones, they don't look up. Maybe more signs, the signs that go in the middle of the street before and after, you know, coming from Black Horse Pike and coming from Triton.
Okay. The crossing guards aren't ours, they're Gloucester Townships and things like that, but we'll reach out.
Relay that.
And we'll look at these signs. There's some difficulty putting the signs on the road because it is a county road, but we'll be able to look at that some more. I understand, I agree with you, people don't pay attention.
The cell phones are the death of many people.
They are, they're going, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Sir, please.
Linda for 213 Oak Avenue. Yesterday, my husband and I received a code violation. It was a note because our rhododendrons in our yard are 35 inches tall instead of 30 inches, which is the limit. I'd like to take a moment to read the code, if you don't mind.
Sure, what's the code? What was the number?
It's 395-15D, E.
Okay.
It states vehicular vision. The owner or tenants of land shall keep all shrubbery, hedges, and other plant life existing within 10 feet of any roadway and within 25 feet of the intersection of two roadways, cut to a height of not more than 2.5 feet, where it shall be necessary and expedient for the preservation of public safety. If such a violation occurs, the owner or tenant shall be given written notice advising that cutting must be done within 10 days of notice. If the owner or tenant fails to cut the same within the time required, the borough may cut such shrubbery, hedges, or plant life, and so shall certify same. Such cutting costs shall be charged against the lands of the owner and become a lien upon such lands shall be assessed and levied upon the lands as other taxes, and the same rights of collection and enforcement as in the collection of taxes. Then in all capital letters it states, shrubbery shall be cut to height of 30 inches or below and cut back to 10 feet from street, removed and maintained. I talked to Keith Knight today and told him how silly I think this ordinance is. But then in thinking about it, I don't think it's that silly, but I think it's important that it be interpreted correctly. And I think the key phrase here is that it says, where it shall be necessary and expedient for the preservation of public safety. That's the key.
Yes.
I can understand that people may not want to look out at 10-foot hedges across somebody's lawn, and so this ordinance would pertain. In my case, well, if you take it by the letter, as I was saying to Keith, I said, I'm looking out the window at some majestic oaks across the street. I said, one is 6 inches from the curb. I said, another's maybe 1.5 feet. I said, according to this ordinance, if somebody complains, say if I complained, the person could be served a notice and have to cut the trees down to within 30 inches. And he said it does pertain to all plant life. He suggests.
Curbing and sidewalk?
No, I don't have sidewalk. And when Buck Tuttle came out to talk to me about it, he rode up and down the street several times. He had said, well, you don't have sidewalks here. He says, I don't understand the problem. Sometimes there's shrubs that go out onto the sidewalk, but you don't have that. So the only person that I could see that it would affect would be my neighbors next door, that maybe if they were pulling out the driveway, but I couldn't understand how it would affect them either because I pull out of my driveway, which is on the same side as theirs, and it hasn't affected us. So anyway, I wrote her a text today, and she wrote me back. I don't know what's going on, but nothing at all blocks our view. What started this will affect your wonderful garden. And I don't know if any of you know, but I have a garden that's certified as a monarch way station. You may know that monarchs are endangered. Their numbers drop 90 to 95%. These are the butterflies that go to Mexico. And it would be a real tragedy for our children and grandchildren not to see them. So anyway, I got my garden certified. I got the garden at Downing School certified, and a couple years ago I got the garden at the library certified. Between the 3 gardens, my husband and my son and I released 260 monarchs. So if this law or ordinance were adhered to, I have Joe weed, a lot of native plants. I've got zinnias, which aren't native, but they're a real pollinator attractor. And I've got milkweed, which is the only thing that monarchs lay their eggs on. If I were, and I asked Mr. Knight if it would affect that, would I have to cut them back too? And he said, yes, it's within 10 feet of the curb. Well, if I cut them back to 30 inches, I'm going to lose the blooms, which attract the pollinators. So it would have a devastating effect. I found a page on the Runnymede site that talks about solutions for stormwater runoff. And it encourages residents to maintain a small lawn and keep the rest of your property or yard in a natural state with trees or native vegetation, and that requires little or no fertilization. Well, that's what I've been doing. I've taken away some of my lawn, I've put in native plants. I don't have pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizer that runs off into the culvert, which brings up something interesting too. When we first moved into our home in the mid-70s, while the land was vacant, the Borough of Runnymede put down a layer of asphalt, which is as big as my garden, because the runoff from the yard was going into the culvert that's right in front of our house. We built it up with railroad ties, and now I've got rhododendrons and other plants, the roots of which are holding the soil intact. So Mr. Knight suggested I come here, that it was definitely the ordinance that needed to be changed, but I don't think so. I think it's the way that he's interpreting it, because my home isn't, the rhododendrons aren't a hindrance to anyone in the way of public safety.
Linda, what's your address?
213 Oak. On my same street, there are ornamental grasses that are under the same ordinance that would be violating it. The garden I take care of at Downing School has ornamental grasses that are higher than 30 inches and within 10 feet of the curb. Mr. Knight,
Yes, there was a complaint, and that's why it's driven, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Ms. Hurd, but
that's
Chief
okay.
wouldn't just come out.
Oh,
no, that's not what's happened.
He said it was a complaint, and I have my ideas as to why.
Yeah, and there's been complaints throughout the community, and it's something that's been addressed in other areas. We've had a few residents that had to actually take down even trees because they were in the right of way of this 10-foot setback.
Mm-hmm.
It is true, and I do feel for all this, and obviously it's something we need to consider, but once again, yours is a very specific and particular property that, once again, there is no curb, there is no sidewalk. I walk by your house, so I know it very well. I guess the way Mr. Knight interprets it, I don't know if our legal counsel thinks it, and maybe thinks a little differently. We can visit this a little bit, but there is an issue about the fact that there is a 10-foot setback that we are trying to adhere to for the right of way. Now, your property line, not to put you on any defense or anything like that, but your property line is behind that. Where would the curb actually be on your property if a curb were to be put in there?
You mean the sidewalk?
Yes.
It would be very difficult to put sidewalks on any of the properties on our street because of all the trees. We'd be losing unbelievably majestic oaks.
Yeah.
But it would wipe out that whole garden. It would wipe out.
Do you have more garden behind the 10-foot setback?
A little.
A little.
Not much. Most of it's in front of it.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's certified. I have a certificate here by Monarch Watch.
I don't know what we can do. I mean, it's an ordinance in the town, and remember, we can't spot zone things. You can't say that Ms. Hurd's property is separate from everybody else's.
But it isn't creating, the key here is where it says where it shall be necessary and expedient for the preservation of public safety. It's not hurting anyone.
I appreciate your interpretation, but the ordinance is pretty straightforward in my opinion. It says anything within 10 feet has to be no more than 30 inches. And part of that reason is that 10 feet is owned by the borough.
Well, then,
Let me say it again. That 10 feet is owned by the borough. It's always been owned by the borough. Since time immemorial, since before you were there, the 10 feet was owned by the borough. Most people don't unfortunately know that. So that's part and parcel, I think, of what was behind that ordinance. Be that as it may, we have an ordinance that the council can change ordinances, but it can't create exceptions to ordinances. All it can do is change them. Mr. Knight's responsibility is to interpret the ordinances that exist and to enforce them. So he's the what's the right word? He's the guy.
He's the enforcer.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the person. It's not, all the council could do is look at the ordinance and decide that it needs to modify it, if that's what council would decide to do. But-
Well, I hope they do decide to do that then, because technically somebody could say those trees are within, and they are, and to lose those trees would be
We fight so
criminal.
much for sustainability, and we're a green town.
But you have to weigh public safety.
But there's, well,
But
And how do you
I-
spot zone? How do you spot zone and say that that's okay there, but when there's a, when there's a bush?
Prove to me that that's endangering.
I'm not opposed, I'm not.
You don't have to prove that, you just have an ordinance. You should
Yeah.
look
Well,
at
then I
it.
think we should.
Then you should look at the ordinance.
Amend the ordinance or.
And we can look at the ones now, 35, you're 35 inches?
The rodent, oh, I don't mind cutting them down to 30, because although they are a safe haven for birds that are running from the feral cats in our neighborhood, but, I mean, they're a protection for them. But my concern is, if I have to do that, then somebody could say, well, the zinnias are 33 inches, the milkweed is 32 inches, and, you know, where does it stop?
Well, what is the exact violation that he wants you to do, is cut the rhododendrons
Well,
down
see,
to
this
30
is
inches?
the way, well, that's what he, yes, that's what he said. But it says here, shrubbery shall be cut back to a height of 30 inches or below and cut back to 10 feet from street, removed and maintained. And that's why I wanted to talk to him. Did he mean to take out all the shrubs within 10
No, I
feet?
think it just has to be cut below 30 inches.
Mhm. But then there's other little shrubs on my property that are a little bit higher too. And then again, what about my neighbor who has grasses that are above 30 inches, and the neighbor across the street from him?
You have the right to complain about everybody.
And what about Downing School?
You can complain about everyone. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with ordinances that are not perfect. But at the same time, how do we can't spot zone. And say, for example, we change it to 36 inches. Now, what happens when we have a corner where we all know we had problems in certain corners where we asked people to move the shrubbery because you couldn't block it. We have a corner that we talk about every meeting at the corner of Forest and, what is that, Stratford? That we talk about every meeting because, Mr. Rhodes, you know I'm on your side on this, it's tough. We have these laws that we're trying to make work. I don't know the answer. It's
What
not
can we
an easy
do
answer.
here? Can we cut them down to the 30 for
No.
now?
That's it, I don't.
And then-
That's
Well, the only-
Council can take a look?
You know, well, we can look at the ordinance, you can look at the ordinance
Yeah.
and see if there's, you know, if there's things that make sense, you may have to try to
But for now,
customize it in a way that protects your concerns about corners.
And trees,
and so
and
on.
trees, we could add
So,
that.
I haven't read the ordinance, so I don't know how involved it is.
What year is the ordinance written?
It doesn't say. in
Usually at the top there's
Oh, it just gives date and notice, date, and if the.
Oh, no, you don't have the ordinance on, okay.
I don't have the ordinance. This is on.
This is on the
It's
violation.
on the ordinance, it says the date, not on that.
Well, the irony of it is the day that Buck Tuttle came out, I had just gotten an email from Maggie McCann from Camden County Parks, and she was telling me that she arranged for a meeting for myself and for her with Chris Waldron, the Director of Sustainability at Camden County Parks. And we did meet that following Monday along with Eric Mollenhauer, who founded the Monarch Teacher Network. I was so honored that he found time in his busy schedule. He's done such projects as Hands Across the Water. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. He's an amazing man. And he's going to be working with Chris and Maggie on Mad Hatter tree events in Camden County. And I'm going to be working with them on Meadowlands and Butterfly Gardens. So hopefully you're going to be seeing more gardens like mine pop up.
Just make sure they're not in the right of way.
So,
Okay?
but, so now what do I do in the meantime?
Why don't, we'll contact Mr. Knight and say that the council's reviewing the ordinance. Because
Okay.
you do bring up a good point about trees and the way it's interpreted.
do you think you should trim it down you know?
Well, she got a violation that she's supposed to do it test days.
We have trimmed. She's indicated that she's okay with trimming the rhododendrons down.
Well, the only thing is, if I do that, then I don't want somebody coming back this summer and measuring my milkweed and my Joe Pye weed and saying this has to be cut too.
First of all, Mr. Knight's decision. We can let him know that the council's considering looking at it, but that doesn't mean that he has to back off what he's decided, number one. Number two, the only thing that's been directed at you, as I understand what you've said to us this evening, is the rhododendrons. So all the ifs and the maybes are not an issue at this moment, and the council's indicated they're going to look at it, the ordinance, and maybe those issues go away. And if those issues don't go away, they are what they are. And if someone complains or however this all happened, then the ordinance is the ordinance, but the council will look at it as a process. I will tell you that if the earliest we would probably get this changed would be 2 months, would be February, because of the process that we have to go through. So, and again, Mr. Knight will be advised of what we're doing, and you may want to call Mr. Knight in a couple of days and ask him, should I now cut them or should I wait?
Well, he said that he would wait pending what you say, that he would postpone the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, what I'm confused about is why this isn't more relevant, where it says it shall be necessary and expedient for the preservation of public safety. I think that's the key. The trees across the street from me are not public, going against public safety. And my shrubs are not going against public safety. So why is this an issue to begin with, is what I'm asking you.
Well, he interpreted it that way.
He told me that anytime someone makes a complaint, he has to go and do it. So it's not,
All he has to do is go and investigate. And if he determines that there's a violation of an ordinance, then he will cite. He doesn't have to cite someone because there's a complaint. Lots of people complain about things, but what they're complaining about is not a violation of the ordinance, of any ordinance, so there's nothing for Mr. Knight to do. We've had that situation. We've had people complaining about Mr. Knight, who goes out every time a complaint is registered, but what's being complained about is not a violation of anything, so he doesn't cite the person because they haven't violated anything. So he gets criticism for not citing people. So that's his job. If there's a complaint, he must investigate. He then determines if there's a violation of the ordinance. It's his thing. We'll let him know that the council's re-looking at this.
okay, I'm not sure that he came out to the property at all, because when Buck Tuttle came out, he's the one who said that he didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to him because we don't have a sidewalk. And he more or less said maybe this could be swept away. So I was very surprised to get the violation because even he said that he didn't see a problem with it.
It's an ordinance? It's not a land use ordinance. I mean, I haven't seen the ordinance, so I'm a little bit in the dark here. But the issue's there's nothing that we can.
We can't do anything this evening.
But you want the
But what we'll do is we'll let Mr. Knight know that there's no action that needs to be taken. We'll authorize him to postpone it. Ms. Passio Ms. Ranieri will review this ordinance a little bit. We'll look at it, because you bring up great points about the trees, and I know many locations where we live that the trees are in the right of way. And there could be an argument that those trees are a problem area.
Some shrubs in the
Oh, shrubs, the trees are exempt anyway.
No, it didn't say that. It said plant life. And I asked him, does that include the tree? And he said, the trees, and he said, yes. He said it's plant life.
Because we have trees, we have many trees on
The way it's written, I think, we'll have to look at it.
All right, it was written in 1994, which isn't that long ago, so I would assume, this is only me, council doesn't do anything unless there was an issue.
But
So there must have been a problem.
We have on our website under stormwater, how to read it again.
I understand.
Okay.
I do understand.
So we're telling people to have a small lawn and let everything grow, the rest grow.
But we're
Yes.
also trying to protect neighbors against neighbors. Once again, this was a complaint driven by someone who complained. I don't know why.
I do. I just had a political sign on my property, and it was
Okay.
against the political.
We're going to postpone that, and we'll review it and see what we can do. Thank you.
Then we'll get together.
Okay.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Al? Okay, is anyone make a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion to close the public portion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Passio, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, public portion is closed. Yes.
Make a motion to go to closed
Well, hold on a
session.
second, we're going to do resolution
15170.
15170 is a closed session to discuss personnel issues, contractual issues. 15 minutes? 20
And
minutes?
litigation.
And litigation?
I'm a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
I'll make a motion.
How long?
15 to 20 minutes?
15 minutes.
Let me second it.
15 minutes.
And it's personnel litigation and contract?
And contract issue. Separate. A motion by Mr. Ranieri, second.
I second.
I second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Root. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're in closed session.